So we'll stand just outside of our hip bones tonight, drawing our core center towards the spine, sliding those shoulders back and down, reaching with the fingertips, lengthening from the shoulder through the fingertips towards the floor, and then drawing up through the crown of the head and tipping the chin just slightly, just enough to lengthen that cervical spine just a little bit. And we'll take some deep inhales through the nose, deep exhales through the nose, letting the body fill with air on the inhale, drawing the core center towards the spine on the exhale, hands wide in starfish hands, actually stretching those little spaces between the fingers and firming the legs here in our mountain pose. Mountain pose can be a very dynamic pose. So big breath, shoulders back and down. Big inhales, big exhales. Those of you who want to, if you want to move the fingertips towards the navel center with the thumbs running up the rib cage, feel free to do so. Rooting down through the feet. Strong body here. Let's take about 5 more breaths here, really getting in sync with our breath before we begin our practice. Letting the belly push out against the fingertips. And one more long breath here. And with that, we'll draw the arms back, around, and up. Remembering that if it's painful to reach to the shoulders, go ahead and shorten those levers, just fingertips to the shoulders. So reaching all the way up. And exhale, turning the palms down as you press the palms towards the floor. Again, inhale, reaching the arms back, around, and up. Exhale, turning the palms, pressing towards the floor. And again, inhale up. Open up the body, extended mountain pose. Exhale, turning the palms, pressing, reaching with the fingertips. 2 more. Inhale. Draw the arms up and reach. Exhale, turning the palms down as you press. Last one. Inhale, rotate in the shoulder. And exhale, turn the palms and press and reach. Very good. So this time we're going to inhale both arms up and exhale, taking the left arm down towards the floor, lengthening through the fingertips, making sure that as we reach with that right arm, we press through the outer edge of the right foot. So we're not shifting weight at all. We're keeping that weight stable. Remember, if this bothers your shoulder, you can always take the hand behind the head and still get that nice opening, or even taking the hand to the shoulder, lifting the elbow to get that nice opening. So big reach. And switching sides, we're going to inhale the arm up, reach through the right hand as you lengthen through the left, rooting down through the feet, making sure the weight is evenly distributed. and reaching with the arm, opening up those little spaces between the ribs. And again, remembering that you always have the option to modify if you need to. So big reach here. Inside lateral extension. And let's take it into a flow, inhaling and reaching. And inhale as you switch sides, exhaling as you reach and lengthen. And inhale, exhale, reach, lengthening through the fingertips. And inhale, exhale, reach. So keeping the flow going, and we'll hold it again after the flow. Firm legs, strong body here. And keeping that nice reach. One more each side. And you don't have to go at my pace. You can go at your pace, whatever you're comfortable with. Here we go. Big reach, lengthen, and reach. And hold. Squeeze glutes to protect that low back. Firm core, firm body. Big breath here. And switching sides. Big inhale, big exhale. Awesome. Let's take the hands behind us for a chest expansion. Opening up the heart here. And remember, you always have that option of taking the hands just above the hips, pulling the elbows back, and lifting the chest in a standing camel. If it's a little uncomfortable, maybe you have arthritis in your hands, maybe it's a little too much stretch in the shoulder. So big breath here, big reach with the hands, and big breath. And releasing. Let's go work a little bit on our chair. So let's take the feet directly under the hip bones, making sure that the toes are lifted, spread far apart. And we're going to inhale up in our extended mountain pose. Exhale, sinking into chair by lengthening through the sacrum, drawing the core center in, shoulders slide away from the ears. Big breath here. Remember, you always have the option of shortening that lever and lengthening through the crown of the head. So big reach in your chair pose, strong body here, firm core. Big inhale, big exhale. And drawing that core center close to the spine. And let's inhale up, squeeze the glutes, little upper body back bend in the upper thoracic. Exhale, swan dive forward, bending the knees a lot because we're not that warm yet. Inhale, lift the tailbone up. Exhale, drop the tailbone, circle sweep all the way up. Exhale into chair. We'll hold for 5 breaths, shoulders away from the ears. Feel those Achilles tendons stretching. Big inhales, big exhales. Keep it working. Two more breaths. And one more. On the next inhale, we're going to reach up into that upper body, back bend, squeezing glutes carefully. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward, nice and slow. Inhale, lift that tailbone up. Exhale, drop that tailbone, circle sweep all the way up. And exhaling into chair. Again, we'll hold Last set here. Big breath, keeping the back nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Big inhales, big exhales. Two more breaths. Last one coming up. And we'll squeeze glutes, little upper body back bend here. And exhale, fold all the way down, hinging from the hip. Inhale, lift that tailbone up. Exhale, drop the tailbone, circle sweep all the way up, coming back to the heart center. So let's go ahead and step wide on our mats. And we're going to pick the toes up and take them out about 35 degrees. Hands can go on the hips here. We're going to take a big inhale, shoulders away from the ears. On the exhale, take the knees out and over the toes, opening up those inner thighs, nice long back. Inhale, press up through the feet, through the top, the crown of the head. Exhale. And inhale. Again, exhale. And inhale. And we'll add arms on the next one. Exhale. Inhaling up. And we'll do our sun pose here. Exhale, take the arms out, lengthen through the shoulders. And inhale up. Nice wide toes, don't grip with your feet. Exhale. And inhale, reach. Again. And inhale. Let's do two more in the flow, and then we'll hold. Exhale. Lengthen away from those ears. Inhale, press through the feet. Last one, here we go. Exhale. And on this next one, we're going to hold. Inhale up. And we're going to exhale, hold. Shoulders back and down, heart open, fingertips reaching. Big breath here. Reach with your fingertips. One more breath. Let's bring the hands into the heart center, pressing up through the feet, picking the toes up and spinning them forward. And we're going to do our first standing straddle split. So hinging forward from the hip, soft knee, lengthening through the crown of the head, reaching for the floor. This is a good place to use a block if you need one. Let the head hang like a rag doll, picking up that tailbone. Big reach, big breath. Stay with it. Keep breathing. And we'll heel toe in and bend the knees, circle sweep all the way up, coming back to the heart center. Let's do a little focused breath here. Bring the big toes together, hands at the heart center, closing the eyes, and we'll breathe deeply here. Big inhales, big exhales, noticing the instability in the body. Three more breaths. Two more. Last one coming up. And we'll step wide again on our mats. And we'll again take the feet to that 35-degree position. And this time we're going to inhale up from the start, arms reaching, shoulders away from the ears, goalpost arms as we press the knees open in our moonflowers. So the tailbone is just going up and down like it's on an elevator. So straight up, straight down, and exhale. Strong body, strong core. Inhale, press, and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. 3 more times. Inhaling up. And exhale. And again, inhale. Big reach. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, then we'll hold it. Inhale, big reach. And exhale. And we'll inhale up. And we're going to hold this one. Exhale. Goalpost arms in your moonflowers. Fingers nice and wide. Shoulders away from the ears. Pull those elbows back a little bit to engage that back and open up the chest. So big breath here. Fingers wide. Really getting that blood flow into the hands. Stay with it. Strong core. 2 more. Last one. We'll take the hands to the hips and press up. Pick up those toes. And we're going to hinge forward into standing straddle split. Let the head hang like a rag doll. This one should feel much better than the first one. Should feel closer to the floor. Keep lifting that tailbone, stretching through the hamstrings. And we're going to walk the hands over to the right leg and just feel that deeper stretch in the right leg. And walking the hands over to the left. Again, feeling that deeper stretch in that left leg. Coming back to center. Lift that tailbone one more time to the sky while the head hangs down. And then heel toe in. And bend the knees, circle sweep all the way up. Big stretch here. Let's clasp the hands. Point the index finger up and lengthen up as tall and long as you can make yourself. As you root down through your feet, lengthen up through your fingertips. And coming back to the heart center. Shoulders away from the ears, strong body, strong core. Let's take a couple breaths here before we move on. And one more. And let's do a couple of sun salutations. So we can modify those if we need to, no worries. Stepping to the front of your mat. In your mountain pose, we're going to inhale up, big reach here, lengthen up through the body, exhale, fold and bow, hands to the floor, inhale, hands to the shins, Monkey pose, lengthen. Exhale, slide all the way down. We're going to step the right foot back, spinning it out about 35 degrees in this walking position. We can either take the hands up the leg, reaching up into our warrior one, or we can just press right up into it. Exhale, hands to the floor slowly. And here's where we step back either into downward facing dog or half dog, puppy pose. Either one works. From there, let's inhale forward into a bent knee plank or a straight leg plank, your choice. We're going to exhale halfway down. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, back to down dog or half dog. I'll do half dog. And from half dog, I'm going to step my right foot through, coming up, spinning the back foot out, pressing all the way up into warrior one. Exhaling the hands to the floor, stepping together into forward fold. Circle sweep all the way up. And we'll begin again on the other side. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, lengthen the spine, monkey pose. Exhale, step the left foot back, spin the foot out, and press through the front foot as you come into warrior one. Bending that front knee deeply. Exhaling the hands to the floor. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. This is where you have an option. Drop the knees if you'd like. Exhale halfway. Inhale back to plank. Exhale back to down dog. On the inhale, we step the left foot up and through, spin the back foot, press through the front foot, coming all the way up into your warrior one. Exhaling the hands to the mat, stepping to fold. Big stretch here, circle sweep all the way up, coming back to the heart center. Let's take another little moment of that focused breathing. Big toes touching, shoulder blades away from the ears. We'll do a full minute of breath here. Big inhales, big exhales. Okay, so let's do a little more work in our warrior one. And we're going to come to the top of our mat and we're going to step straight back with that right foot. So we're going to take the right foot, stepping straight back so the hips can be in this walking position. The feet are a little over, maybe 1.5 feet apart, hips very square. So you're going to pull that front hip back so that the hips square up. Bend the front knee as much as you're comfortable doing, reaching up with the front arms. Let's press the palms back and open up the heart here. So firm core, squeeze the glutes, press the palms back in your warrior one. Big stretch here. Again, if that bothers your arms, just go to goalpost arms. Always a nice alternative to take the pressure off of the shoulder. So from here, I'm going to take my hands to my hips. I'm going to hop my back foot in just a little. I'm going to walk my hands down my leg and lengthen through the spine. So I'm going to feel that stretch in my hamstring. For those of you who want more, feel free to use your blocks
on either side of the foot and round over the leg, keeping that soft bend in that front knee. Or you can maintain your flat back and work on lengthening the spine and getting that stretch in the hamstring and the lower leg and the hip. And I'm going to step together, circle sweep the arms up, coming back to the heart center, changing sides. I'm going to step back with the other foot, whatever foot I didn't use, about 1.5 to 2 feet. Square up the hips and feeling that stretch in the back of my lower leg. I'm going to reach up, this time with the palms facing each other, shoulders away from the ears, thumbs pointed back. Deep in my pose, big breath here, strong firm core, big inhale, big exhale. Press into the outer edge of the foot. A little bit of upper thoracic bend here in the upper part of the back. And we're going to take the hands to the hips and we're going to hop the back leg in just a little and maybe walk the hands down the leg, lengthening through the spine for that nice elongation in the spine, soft knee here. Or again, you have the option of using blocks or maybe not and rounding more over the leg if that's comfortable for you. You can also put the blocks up on ends, maybe not as flexible on one side versus the other. And we'll bend that front knee softly, stepping the feet together, circle sweeping all the way up, coming back to the heart center. So let's come back to the center of our mats. Take some big breaths here for just a minute, just 3 or 4 breaths. Just getting a little reacquainted with the breath before we go into our next pose. Always taking time to breathe in a practice is super important. Very, very important. So let's step wide on our mats. And we're going to pick up the right foot, spin on the heel, so that that foot is facing the end of the mat. Take the knee over towards the baby toe side of the foot, opening up that inner thigh, opening up those adductors, taking the arms to shoulder height and looking gently over the front fingertips, reaching through the fingertips. And of course you're balancing here, shoulders away from the ears, lengthening through the crown of the head. Just take 2 more breaths in this pose. And of course you can stay as long as you like. We'll take a strong back hand to a strong back leg. Let's deepen that pose just a little bit deeper, shoulder away from the ears, fingertips wide open, legs nice and firm. And we'll come into our reverse warrior, breathing deeply. Might feel a little shaking from the work, that's okay. Two more breaths.
Coming back to our warrior two, we'll pause here just to get ourselves back in position. And then straighten that front leg, reaching beyond the foot and ankle, tipping into our beautiful triangle. Remember, you're inside a pane of glass in a painting. If this bothers your arm, just take the hand to the hip or behind the back, wherever you need to be comfortable. And don't over-rotate in the pose. Big breath here. And we'll use that arm to bring us up, picking up that toe, all the toes rotating back. We'll pick up the other foot, picking the toes up, rotating on the heel, and we're going to take that knee to the baby toe side of the foot. So opening up the hips here, making sure we're stretching into those adductors. We're going to take those arms to shoulder height in our warrior two, our strong warrior position, looking over the front fingertips, arms reaching, big breath. Big inhales, big exhales. And we'll take a strong back hand to a strong back leg, flipping that palm up. We're going to deepen the pose here. Remember, it's not through the back, but it's a lateral stretch. Nice, strong, firm legs, fingers wide. Big inhales, big exhales. Big breath. Let's do two more. Coming back to our warrior one, checking in through our position, checking in with our bodies, and then straightening that front leg while we reach beyond the toes, tipping gently into that beautiful triangle inside our picture frame. Of course, there's a lot of balance. Your muscles might be shaking. That's all normal. Big reach here again. If you have issues with your shoulders, there's a good chance to take that hand to the hip or behind the back. So big reach up here. Open up that heart. Strong body. Big breath. We're going to use that top arm to bring us up, spin on that heel for our last standing straddle split tonight. Hinge from the hip. This should feel much easier. You should feel a little closer to the floor. Feel free to use a block here if you need to. And let that head hang like a rag doll. And let's go ahead and rock a little bit from forefoot to heel. Nice and easy, feeling that great stretch. And let's walk the hands a little out in front of us. Inhale up, lengthen the spine in a monkey pose. And exhale, closer to the floor. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale. And inhale, lengthen.
and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one coming up. And inhale and exhale. Last big stretch here. And then we'll heel toe, bringing the feet in and bend the knees, circle sweep all the way up, coming back to the heart center. So let's do a little balance here tonight. You can use a pole or a dowel if you want to. This is a great little tool. You can also use a wall, standing to what with one side towards the wall. You can always switch sides to make it easy. So you have some options. You can always use a chair. I have a chair over here. So whatever works for you in your pose. We're going to do a little standing stork. So we're going to shift the weight onto one foot, taking the hand, reaching for the ankle. So we're getting that great quadricep stretch, reaching up with the opposite arm. Find that focal point so you can hold the pose. Now, go ahead and stay in it if you're already there. For those of you that are struggling, you can take a strap. I'm going to use this band, whatever you have handy, and you can loop the foot. Feel free to loop the ankle in the band. And that can be a great extension of your arm if you're not able to reach the ankle to get that stretch. So I'll demo this more from the side. You go ahead and finish, keep doing what you're doing. So I'm going to use the wall. I'm going to loop, put my foot through my loop. And now you see that I've got my hand here and I can reach up from my wall safely and do the pose and work on my balance. Okay, so you have choices in how you want to do that, and I'll demo that again. So let's go to the other side. Another safe technique, whether or not you need the strap, is when you take a hold of your ankle and you're stretching, you can slide the hand up a wall until you feel comfortable taking the hand off the wall into your balance. Okay, again, I love using walls for balancing. Why not? Again, I can put my foot through this loop I've made, and I made myself a little extension here that I can use to keep the stretch going and stay in my balance. Also, moving the knee a little bit back towards the back of the room or wherever you are helps in stretching the quadricep. Okay. If you want to balance a little bit longer, feel free. I'm going to step to the top of our mats. Big inhale. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen monkey pose. Flatten out that back, lift that tailbone. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen monkey pose, especially through the neck. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Last one coming up. And lengthen in your monkey pose. Soften through the knee. Holding the pose a little longer here. And fold. And let's all step back. We haven't rested yet. to our child's pose. Remembering that you do have the option to create a little space between your knees, maybe 8 to 10 inches, which gives you more space to stretch the hip. And lengthen through the fingertips, reaching with the arms, reaching and extending the back in extended child's pose. And let's breathe into that back. Press through the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, and the baby finger, and the ring finger. Let's walk the hands over to the left. Let the hip come slightly right. Big stretch here. And we'll walk the hands over to the right. Let the hips come slightly left. Big stretch here, lateral side stretching. Big breath. Coming back to our center. If you like to do downward dog, here's your chance. We'll curl the toes under, lift the hips, pressing back into downward dog. For those of you who don't do downward dog, you have the option to come from child's pose, which is here, to a little more upright pose with the hips slightly behind the knee and reaching into your puppy or modified downward facing dog or half dog. So either way, we're either in down dog, working the pose, maybe walking the dog, or we're in half dog. And coming out of the pose, we'll rest in child's pose by stacking the fist, resting the head, and taking a true break in your work tonight. And coming back to our neutral spine, hips over our knees, knees in alignment with the ankles, shoulder, elbow over the wrist. Remember that if you need a little more angle to be comfortable, just bring the arms a little more forward and you can open up the angle of the wrist to make it more comfortable. And we'll exhale to cat and inhale to cow. Lengthen through that spine and exhale and inhale and again exhale. Inhale, exhale. Two more, inhaling, exhale. Last one coming up, inhale, and exhale, resting, if you will, in child's pose. So let's take a little break here, kind of get acquainted with the breath a little bit, some deep diaphragmatic breathing, and we'll move on. And coming from this pose, let's do a little bit of upper thoracic. I like to use blocks for this one. So we line the blocks up. If you use blocks, you don't have to. Line the blocks up for this modified version. And my hands are just where the first block starts. I'm going to lift my arm up. Doesn't matter which side because we're going to do both. Slide that hand through behind the wrist like thread the needle, taking my head and shoulder to the blocks to get that upper thoracic twist. We want to stay out of the low back, just stretching the upper back. Take a few more breaths. And coming slowly out of the pose, we're going to take the other arm up. Remember, it doesn't matter because we're going to do both. Big reach. Slide that arm behind the other support arm, taking the head and shoulder to either the blocks of the mat for that upper thoracic twist. And slowly coming out of that pose. So we've got a little bit of upper thoracic twist going on. Let's slide the hips back for the stretch in extended child's pose. Actually a big stretching pose. Please open up the hands, press the fingertips into the mat. And another opportunity for downward facing dog. So we'll come back to down dog or half dog, your choice here. And we can walk that dog or just stay in child's pose or do half dog. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Coming out of your down dog when you're ready and doing a true resting child's pose. Okay, so let's turn over on our mats to our backs. And we'll take our feet firmly and nice and wide open on the floor and round back slowly, one vertebra at a time to the floor. And we're going to bring our knees into the chest and we're going to rock side to side and back and forth and circle the knees gently in both directions. And let's take the feet onto the floor, heels close to the hips, arms reaching up towards the ceiling. And we're going to gently take the knees left while we move the arms right. So very slowly working through this little bit of twisting that we're doing before we go to bridge flow. So being very conscious of keeping the body nice and relaxed while we rotate, but remember, and only rotate as far as you're comfortable with. And last one coming up. Perfect. Let's walk the heels really close to the hips. And we'll do a little bridge flow. So we're going to inhale, peeling that spine up off the floor. Press through the inner edges of the feet. And exhale, roll the spine back along the floor like a string of pearls. And again, inhale. And exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, pressing those hips up to the ceiling. And exhale, rolling the spine along the floor slowly. And again, inhale, take the arms with you this time. And exhale, bringing the spine slowly along the floor. Again, inhale. And running that spine slowly back to the floor. Nice and easy. And again, inhaling up. And exhale. Last one coming up. And inhale. And slowly exhale, one vertebra at a time. And we'll bring those knees into the chest. Do a little rocking before we continue. Nice and slow. Little circles help. And we'll bring the heels close to the hips. And this time, let's add the arms, and we'll add on to this little flop. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, rolling back down. And on the next inhale, we bring the knees through a tabletop position and flexing the feet, extend through the heels all the way up. And exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Drive through those heels and exhale. And inhale up. And exhale. And inhale. Drive through those heels and exhale. And let's do two more. Inhale. And exhale. And last one, we're going to inhale. And exhale. Feet come down. And we'll bring those knees into the chest. Do a little rocking. Massaging the spine here. And let's stretch from toenail to fingertip. Big stretch here, big lengthen out. And if you don't have your strap handy, which I'm going to pick mine up right now, grab your strap. We're going to step into the strap with either foot, it doesn't matter. Drive to that heel, extending up, and bring the leg as close as you're comfortable with. We can also extend the bottom leg to get that deeper stretch. Big reach here. Lengthening up through the heel of the foot. And bending your knee, let's change sides. So we're going to step the other foot, whichever side it is, because we're going to do both sides, and drive through that heel, lengthen through the back of the leg. And again, we have the option to extend the bottom leg to get a deeper stretch here. and bending that knee. Let's put our straps aside. So we got a nice stretch going here. Again, let's rock a little bit. Moving the legs around a little bit. And if you have a block handy, go ahead and grab a block. You may need one here. Let's cross the right ankle over and above the left knee and put it into that figure 4. And then we'll put a block under the bottom foot to enhance the stretch. Now for some of us, this will work great. For others, you may want to reach behind that bottom leg, drawing it towards you to get a little deeper stretch here. So I'm fine just staying with the block on the floor, but some people are going to want a little bit more. And that's important, especially for the stretching of the piriformis in that hip area of that crossed leg. So you should be feeling that stretch in the hip of the leg that's crossed. So we'll slowly come out of that pose. It's called reclining pigeon. And we're going to either put the foot up on a block and cross that other leg over and above the knee. Or for those of you who feel like you need more flexibility, reach around behind that leg and draw it towards you. And we're just going to relax here, let gravity do the work for you. We'll slowly come out of that stretch. Again, always an opportunity to rock between the deep stretches. It's nice for blood flow. It's nice for the back. Circling around. Very good. So let's go ahead and get some blocks if you need them. And if you want to put something under your head here, that would be nice for this next pose. And we'll go ahead and take our blocks, draw our knees close to us by drawing the heels close to the hip, open up those knees into that reclining butterfly, and let the hips relax in this opening position, and you relax the rest of the body. You might want to put your arms up over your head. Just relax into the pose. With your hands, let's reach under those legs, bringing the legs together. And we're going to extend the legs out. Let the feet flop open, relaxing in our Shavasana. Shoulders release to the floor, body completely releases to the floor. Big inhales, big exhales, although the breath can also be a little more shallow here. So just relaxing. So let's take a deep breath, inhaling through the nose. And exhale, like a sighing breath. And let's stretch from fingertip to toenail. So we'll roll to the side. Getting up very carefully. And we're going to do our twisting work seated tonight. Coming onto a little elevation at the hip, whether it's a bolster or a block. And you can have the option of crossing in easy seated position. And I'm going to use props. Or you can put the feet out in front of you, so long as you keep the spine nice and straight. So we're going to take a big inhale here. And exhale. Let's take the right hand to the left leg, left hand behind us. Big inhale as you lengthen up. And exhale, twist at the waist. Now let's hold and take a breath. Coming back to center. Big inhale. Exhale, hand on the thigh. Other hand goes behind you. Twist from the waist. And we'll breathe and hold. And stretching up through the crown of the head, let's take another big inhale. And exhale. Again, going back to the left hand on the thigh, hand behind. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist at the waist. Coming back to center. Last time, hand goes to the leg, other hand behind. Inhale, reach up, lengthen, twisting at that waist. And one more. Coming back to center. Let's take a big inhale here. Exhale through the mouth. Giving thanks for your practice tonight, your patience, and your hard work. Namaste.